Every attempt by Trump to hide his ties to Jeffrey Epstein has blown up on him. But this latest one is the most damning yet. A New York Times report details disturbing parties Trump hosted with Epstein, involving young girls. The details are deeply troubling. Now, before we can get into this new report from the New York Times, I want to start with the Democrat who is finally saying what we all need to hear about the truth about Donald Trump, and that's Jasmine Crockett right here.
What do you think of all this?
I mean, it's interesting to hear the right explain why it is that they want to hear. I want to hear because clearly you got something to hide, Mr. President. So that's why I want to hear. I want the swamp, right, to be drained, okay? Listen, let me use their language. We know that he had this ongoing relationship with Epstein. They were basically like besties. We know that there are allegations that a lot of the recruitment took place down at Mar-a-Lago. We know that there are even young ladies that said that they were sexually abused and or sexually assaulted. We know that this is someone who has been found liable of sexual abuse by a jury of his peers. So, I mean, this is also a guy who seemingly doesn't really necessarily care if somebody engages in these types of activities. So I know he's got something to hide. That's the only reason it's not out there. If this had anything to do with Democrats, baby, it would have been on day one. That promise would have been fulfilled. But he wanted access to those files, and he wanted to see how bad it looked for him. And unfortunately, after having a glimpse, I think he's decided that he just wants to move on and talk about something else.
So I just want to be clear. By the way, I have no idea. Everything you recited there is true, including the allegation you said there's a woman of age, I should note, who talked about being introduced to Trump by Jeffrey Epstein and then being groped by Trump against, non-consensually. That was reported out, talked to the press and the Guardian. So I want to be clear about that. She was of age. She was, I think, 23 at the time. She was a model. So all those things that you listed there are facts, their association. Him being found liable of what was the term they used? Sexual assault, I guess, in that civil jury. Allegations against him, of course. All of that's established. But what you're saying is you think there actually is something. I mean, I have no idea. You think there's something in the file that incriminates him.
I do. Listen, this guy isn't above board. I mean, I think you're kidding yourself if you believe that he is. So no, I absolutely believe that if he thought for just 2 seconds he could hurt anybody but himself, then absolutely we would have the files. And so it does look a little murky. I think it is why the Democrats are all on board because, this is a guy who has made his own admissions. If you remember the tape where he talked about groping women, right?
It took Democrats too long to start talking about this scandal, and now many seem afraid to say what's obvious. Of course Donald Trump was involved. It's not a stretch. He has a long list of victims, many now speaking out. And this shocking report gives us more detail, as seen in the clip from last night. This clip is right here.
Well, let me just set the record straight. I know what he said that Epstein told him when he was in prison, but Epstein told his own brother, and his brother has been public about this, that he told him that if the public knew everything that he knew about Trump, they would have to cancel the election. And that's his brother's words, not mine. So there is something there. I'm not saying it means that the president did anything illegal or he was involved with Epstein's operation at all. But, the story that he told his brother is different from the story that he told that lawyer, number one. The other point I wanted to make is, he also said there's no list. I agree that there probably isn't a list, but my understanding is that Epstein kept files, and he did keep files on people. I don't know whether the Justice Department got their hands on those files, but Epstein had some kind of records. It might not have been, and I don't believe it was, in a formal list that everybody wants to refer to. So I just think that Epstein told different people different things, and it's hard to know really, what's true and what's not true.
Jeffrey Epstein's own brother. His own brother said that there would be an election to cancel. We'd have to cancel the election if the truth about Trump and Epstein's relationship came out. Now, that is a particularly important detail given that some of the reporting in the story we are about to take a look at from the New York Times is based in 2019 and happened in 2019 when Donald Trump was president and when he wanted to get rid of any evidence surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, including the man himself. Now, I'm not making a claim there, but I think we can all draw our own conclusions, especially in light of this report and now the posting meltdown we're seeing from Trump after. In 1992, an NBC News camera captured the pair at a Mar-a-Lago party that featured cheerleaders from the Buffalo Bills who were in town that weekend for a game against the Miami Dolphins. At one point in the footage, Mr. Trump can be seen dancing amid a crowd of young women. Later, he appears to be pointing at other women while whispering something in Mr. Epstein's ear, causing him to double over with laughter. Months later, when Mr. Trump hosted a party at Mar-a-Lago for young women in a so-called calendar girl competition, Mr. Epstein was the only other guest, according to George Horaway, a Florida-based businessman who arranged the event. Mr. Heine recalled being surprised that Mr. Epstein was the other person on the guest list. I said, "Donald, this is supposed to be a party with VIPs." Mr. Horer told the New York Times in 2019, "You're telling me it's you and Epstein?" Mr. Horan's then girlfriend and business partner, Jill Harth, later accused Trump of misconduct on the night of the party. In a lawsuit, Ms. Harth said that Trump took her into a bedroom and forcibly kissed and fondled her and restrained her from leaving. She also said that a 22-year-old contestant told her that Mr. Trump later that night crawled into her bed uninvited. Ms. Harth dropped her suit in 1997 after a related case filed by Mr. Horan was settled by Mr. Trump, who was denied her allegations. Incredibly disturbing, but unsurprising. This is what we have come to know with more details coming out of this scandal, that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were more than just friends, more than just best friends, but accomplices in each other's crimes. That Donald Trump was going out of his way to throw parties filled with young women for just him and Jeffrey Epstein. That tells you everything you need to know and explains very well why Donald Trump is posting like this in a moment of panic. Trump wrote just moments after this report came public, "Great job of the young and talented Harrison Fields on Fox News. The panel was fantastic on prosecuting Obama and the thugs who have just been unequivocally exposed on the highest level of election fraud. Congratulations to Tulsi Gabbard. Keep it coming." Trump also posted, "We had in President Obama and his leadership team people who did not want to accept the will of the American people and electing Donald Trump in 2016. Donald Trump is accusing Barack Obama of election fraud, ironically, while Trump himself actually tried to overturn an election. He's doing it to distract his base as the Epstein scandal spirals out of control, and it's only going to get worse if more testimony comes out, which is exactly what Dan Goldman is pushing for right here.
What's going on with the Epstein files? Donald Trump promised to release them. Pam Bondi said she had the files on her desk and that she was going to release them in the name of transparency. Kash Patel has spent years railing against the FBI to release the files. Many of my Republican colleagues were banging on the table to release the Epstein files. But now, all of a sudden, after a months-long review, Bondi and Patel say nothing to see here, no evidence that any American would want to see about accomplices, co-conspirators, or other people involved. Yesterday, the Republicans voted against releasing the files. So what's changed? Well, we all know Donald Trump has had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He flew on his plane, he hung out at parties, spoke highly of him. And now there are many people saying that Donald Trump is included in the Epstein files. In fact, there are reporters who say that there are videos of him with topless women. Elon Musk even confirmed that Trump is blocking the release of these files because he's in them. Pam Bondi says there's nothing there, but Donald Trump even acknowledges that there is evidence there. It's just not credible. It's made up. This is a Truth Social post from 9:43 this morning. It is an admission that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and the American people deserve to know whether he is or not. And now there are many people saying that Donald Trump is included in the Epstein files. In fact, there are reporters who say that there are videos of him with topless women. Elon Musk even confirmed that Trump is blocking the release of these files because he's in them. Pam Bondi says there's nothing there, but Donald Trump even acknowledges that there is evidence there. It's just not credible. It's made up. This is a Truth Social post from 9:43 this morning. It is an admission that Donald Trump is in the Epstein file.
Of course, Pam Bondi should testify. Even MAGA Republican who claim to care about transparency should want to know what she knew and what role she played. But clearly, they do not, and that's exactly why we have to keep calling them out. We will keep doing that right here on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.